Good morning, Wednesday morning, everyone. No matter where you may be, no matter what time, it is actually your time, at least here in the West, it's morning. No, it's a little bit after 1 o'clock in the morning my time. I know I haven't streamed in quite a while. It's probably been maybe almost 2 weeks. I think the last stream I did was with the former Mormon apologist who became a Christian, and I did join one live stream from another channel. The channel is called The Cross and the Crescent, discussing Mormonism over there. But since then, I haven't been doing much. I made I'm almost tempted to call it a mistake to engage with Mormons on Facebook groups. And I call it a mistake because through text it gives them time to study and find a response. They can't answer you. You can't have a direct communication, a conversation with them. And the blasphemies and all of the heresies that they post on there, it just really gets to you. It's really gotten to me, to the point that it's affected my Christian walk. And then on top of that, 2 weeks ago, I wanted to go back to a church that I was attending back in the 20s with my ex-wife, and I started having some really bad PTSD. I think I talked a little bit about that the last time I did a stream. I tried doing a late night stream, and I kept having problems with Rumble. I kept getting dropped, disconnected. I don't know why. I went back again this past Sunday and went for the early morning Bible study, and my heart, even though I'm on all this medication, started going out of rhythm, and I could barely shuffle out of church to make it home. I literally passed out in the vehicle, only held in place by the seatbelt on the way home, so I couldn't even stay for service. Since today is Wednesday, they have a service at 6 o'clock tonight. I'll see if I can go. But I'm going to confess and be honest with you. I'm spiritually drained. I'm physically drained. There is no joy in my life right now. I'm cutting back on everything. I'm canceling even a lot of stuff that I use for my Discord server. Canceling even stuff for my making videos, so I can only use the basics out of my video editing software, because for the past 2 months I've become overdrawn, and my body is getting steadily weaker and weaker, to the point where I can't sit up for more than a couple hours. Yes, well, I guess I'll call it yesterday. it all runs into one day for me. Tuesday morning, had a bunch of electricians come in and fix some wiring in the house that desperately needed fixing. And yay, I no longer have to plug everything via an extension cord into a ceiling outlet. They dropped them down to a reasonable height. I haven't got billed for it yet. I was quoted an estimate of $500. I think with my daughter we can pay for that together. But that's going to leave me with virtually no money. I canceled outside caregiving service, so giving it fully to my daughter full time, so she's getting all the hours. But it's really sad. I had a really sweet caregiver. She has a horse. She's been going through a lot of stuff. I don't want to give too much detail, but I gave her a little bit of money to help her out because she's been trying to save up for some stuff to take care of her horse. I even bought her a buriers kit, and her family and her church, because she's Mormon, got on her about giving it back. I guess you're not supposed to take gifts from a Gentile. And yet she said to my daughter, told me that she's close. I was the closest thing that she saw to Jesus. It breaks my heart. There's so much stuff that my body wants to do. So much stuff that I want to do. I haven't even been able to donate to the Palestinians or to the Pakistanians this month. I can't eat without falling asleep. I stopped one medication, well actually two of them. One was a ivermectin, I think is what it was called. What it does is it widens your blood vessels. It's to prevent the vasospasms. But that really dropped my blood pressure really low. And then there was another medication they were having me take, which increases the saline water count in my blood to try to increase my blood pressure. But both of those medications had really adverse effects on my heart and my cardiovascular system. And so now I'm on the verapamil, which is supposed to control my heart rhythm, and then I'm on this other medication that does help with the chest pain. It's used everywhere from gout to heart failure. It's a multi-use medication that was found in the 1950s, and it works, but I'm having a lot of physical side effects, and I'm having a lot of frustration. I've openly challenged Brigham Young University of Idaho to a debate, even in the state that I am now, and I don't look to debate, but I want to debate, is Joseph Smith the true prophet of God? And of course they blocked me and all the Mormons in the area going, why? What's the point? Well, the point is the truth. Let's get the truth out there. Joseph Smith made the first strike, calling all Christianity and those who follow traditional Christianity, as it is in the Bible, an abomination. And Joseph Smith history, you can find it in there. And let's just get to the truth. Are you living your life on a lie or not? Can't get a Mormon on here to debate for anything, and they'll lie through their teeth. The last, I tried interviewing a Mormon. I had him on here for over an hour or so, but the audio didn't record. It was a pretty good conversation, but he kept going over and over, we're gods, we are gods, we are gods. No, we are not gods. And the only time I seem to get any reaction to any video that I post is if I'm doing a reaction video to something, to a music video or something like that. So, in all honesty, I'm going through the dumps. I am actually going through some depression. I'm had it. I've fed up with it. I'll be honest with you. There have been a couple of days where I've hardly taken any medication except when the heart gets really, really out of rhythm, and then of course there comes, oh, I better take something. But it's kind of like I'm getting to the point of, let's just get it all over with. I'm sick of being on all these pills. There are procedures that can be done. I can get a pacemaker. They can do a catheterization on my heart, or freeze a part, control the electrical signals. My blood pressure needs to go back up. My heart is so weak when it beats. It beats an average of 50 beats a minute. It doesn't hardly ever go faster than that, but the beats themselves are incredibly weak. And then I'm going blind on top of that. Literally told I'm going blind. Matter of fact, I have 2 appointments next week. One is to see an eye specialist because of all the extra fluid inside of my brain is pressing down on my optic nerves, and they want to see if they can see the damage through my eyes. And then I have to do a sleep study test on Saturday night, so I got to sleep over at a place where they put electrodes and all these monitoring devices on me, and I'm not even 50, but I go on some servers and I've called the old guy and everything. That's not cool. It ain't cool. And I don't want to be dealing with this anymore. I don't want to be dealing with this. I'm tired of it. I'm really, really, really tired of it. And I'm not angry at God, but I don't understand. I don't know why God is allowing my body to fail. 15 years ago, I was doing great. Well, except for the neck. But now I can't even shave myself. My daughter or someone else that has to shave me. I'm in bed all the time. Either if I'm not sleeping, I'm in bed because I can't sit up. I thank God that I was able to finish the study on Romans chapters 3 through 5. I would love to start the study on the epistle to the Galatians. But what's the point? I get 2 or 3 views on those. I don't feel like I'm reaching anyone, so I'm seriously thinking, what's the point of even having this YouTube channel anymore? And why go on Facebook, and why go on social media? I'm not going to do any more textual debates with Mormons. If you want to have a discussion, man up and come on here and talk with me. You're so deluded. You're so full of. You have no idea what the Bible says. All you are brainwashed, spoon-fed through your seminaries when you're going to high school with certain scriptures, and as you're growing up, that you can take out of context out of the Bible, try to prove a point, and you're brainwashed at an early age into how true the Book of Mormon is, when it's a plagiarized book and one man's fantasy. and it's leading to your destruction. Atheists, you're fools. You are freaking fools to think that there is no God. Agnostics, you're even worse. You're even worse. At least the atheist will have the guts to say there is no God. You won't even have the guts to say that. So I'm doing a lot of debating. Do I want to spend my final years here next to Rexburg, Idaho, and right now what I'm considering to be a Mormon hellhole, where I can't even get out to reach anyone? Or do I try my best to fix up this house, sell it, and move? I want to go to Montana. I've wanted to go there. Oh gosh, I've been wanting to go there for many, many, many years, and it's just one state over. It's beautiful. Yes, I know it gets cold in the winter. But the question is, do I stay or do I move? You know, the pros are that the house that I have now is owned and completely paid off. The cons are is I'm way out in the middle of nowhere. Can't make any relationships with anyone, friendships or otherwise. I have no vehicle. And my health is getting worse. Or I could move to Montana, maybe the capital, where they have a hospital there and all sorts of stuff. I've talked with this about my daughter before, and yet at the same time she wants to become a nurse. She wants to go through CNA. She just applied yesterday, but she's having car trouble, and if we move, she's got to wait 2 years before she can go to the university there without paying, out-of-state tuition. But if I stay here for her, I mean, I'm a father. I guess I sacrifice and I put everything on the line as a father should, as a parent should. But for me, my life I don't find a meaning to it. So my daughter's sweet, and she recognizes that I'm going through what I'm going through, and she left me a really kind note on the Bible, and on the table the other day. She quoted 2 verses, and one of them, come on, Bible. She quoted was Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 3. See if I can zoom in a little here. She quoted Jeremiah 31, verse 3, said, "The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore with loving kindness I have drawn thee." Then the second verse that she gave, the second verse was Psalm 30, verse 5. It says, "For his anger endureth but a moment, but in his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning." I have to be honest with you. This is the longest night I've been through in my life. When is the morning coming? And yes, I am questioning God, but not accusing him. I'm questioning because I'm trying to understand. But that brings me all the way back to Job. Is it 42? I don't know. Job 41. So, the story of Job, if you don't know anything about him, he was a very wealthy man. And he lost all of his family. He lost all of his wealth. He lost his servants. And eventually he was infected with boils where he was literally sitting on ashes and scraping the boils off with potsherds, broken pottery. And so I have to go to this. Job is complaining before the Lord. I'm a righteous man. Why am I going through all of this? He had 3 friends sitting with him. 2 were righteous, 2 were unrighteous, 1 was righteous. And finally, God answered. And he does that in a few chapters. And again, I don't equate myself to someone like Job. My righteousness is a filthy rag, especially even compared to Job. But God answered Job, and this is the beginning of it. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, "Who is this that darkeneth the counsel by words without knowledge?" Well, that's me. I'm darkening counsel. I'm trying to understand, but I have words without knowledge because I don't have the knowledge of God. Gird up now thy loins like a man, act like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measure thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb? When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness swaddle-bagging for it, and break it up for my decreed place, and set bars and doors, and said, Hereunto thou shalt come, but no further, and here shall thy proud waves be stayed. Where was I when God created all that stuff? God is showing me my lack of knowledge, how little I know, how nothing I know. Who am I to complain unto God and to ask unto God, why am I going through what I'm going through? When I don't even know, I wasn't even there for the creation. God continues, Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days, and caused the day spring to know his place, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it? It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. And from their wicked light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. God is a God of judgment. Hast thou entered in the springs of the sea? Or hast thou walked in the search of the depth? Hath the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all. Where is the way where light dwelleth? As for darkness, where is the place thereof? That thou shouldest take it and bound it thereof, that thou shouldest know the pass to the house thereof. Knowest thou it because thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? But what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? Who hath divided a watercourse for the overflowing of waters, or a way for the lightning of thunder, to cause it to rain on the earth where no man is, on the wilderness where there is no man, to satisfy the desolate and waste ground, and to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth? Hath the rain a father, or who hath begotten the drops of dew? Out of whose womb came the ice, and of the hoary frost of heaven who gendered it? The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades, or loosen the bands of Orion? Can thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season, or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up thy voice in the clouds, that abundance of water may cover thee? Can thou send lightnings that they may go and say unto thee, Here we are? Who hath put wisdom in the inward parts, or who hath given understanding to the heart? Who can number the clouds in wisdom? Who can say the bottles of heaven? When the dust groweth into hardness, and the clods cleave fast together, wilt thou hunt the prey for the lion, or fill the appetite of the young lions? When they crouch in their dens and abide in the covert to lie in wait? Who provideth for the raven his food? When his young ones cry unto God, they wander for lack of meat. And again, I'm thinking to myself, here I am trying to figure out in my wisdom why God is allowing me to go through these trials. Yet I can't even understand. This is just the beginning of God pointing out his glory and his majesty. Yet here I can't even begin to fathom the power of God, the knowledge of God, how God takes care of things. I mean, he even talks about causing the rain to fall where no man lives, feeding the wilderness, the lions and the ravens, providing. He set the boundaries of the oceans, where the waters shall go no further, and there's land for us to live on. He talks about the constellations, how he formed them. And that gets to me, who am I to complain? But the point is, I'm still there. I'm still there. Even though God is giving me a smackdown, even though he's talking to Job, he's giving me a smackdown right now. God continues. Knowest thou the time when the wild goats of the rock bring forth? Or canst thou mark when the hinds do calve? Canst thou number the months they fulfill, or knowest the time when they bring forth? When this was written, we didn't have biologists out there tagging all these creatures. They bow themselves, they bring forth their young ones, they cast out their sorrows. Their young ones are in good liking, they grow up with corn, they go forth and return not unto them. Who hath sent out the wild ass free, or who hath loosed the bands of the wild ass? Whose house I have made the wilderness, and the barren land his dwellings. He scorneth the multitude of the city, neither regardeth he the crying of the driver. The range of the mountains is his pasture, and he searcheth after every green thing. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow, or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Wilt thou trust him because his strength is great, or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? Wilt thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy barn? Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in the dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them? I mean, it's pointing out how stupid an ostrich is, which we know from quote-unquote biologists. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because God hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted unto her understanding. Lord God, before you I'm as the ostrich. I don't have the wisdom, I don't have the understanding. What time she lifteth up herself on high, she scorneth the horse and his rider. Hast thou given the horse strength? Hast thou clothed his neck with thunder? Canst thou make him afraid as a grasshopper? The glory of his nostrils is terrible. He paweth in the valley, and rejoiceth in his strength. He goeth on to meet the armed men. He mocketh at fear, and is not affrighted, neither turneth he back from the sword. The quiver rattleth against him, the glittering spear and the shield. He swalloweth the ground with fierceness and rage. neither believeth he that it is the sound of the trumpet. He saith among the trumpets, Ha ha! And he smelleth the battle afar off, the thunder of the captains and the shouting. The majesty of the horse. Does the hawk fly by thy wisdom, and stretch her wings towards the south? God directs the flight of the birds. Does the eagle mount up at thy command, and make her nest on high? She dwelleth and abideth on the rock, upon the crag of the rock, and the strong place. From thence she seeketh the prey, and her eyes behold the far off. Her young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is she. Now, Job was probably written, it's the oldest book in the Bible. And depending on which you date, it's probably written around the time of Abraham. Probably, I go along with the date of 900 BC. Or sorry, yeah, 900 BC. Some date it early, some date it later, but that's about the right. But I mean, the Bible is not a book of science, but every claim that he's making, it's there. But I mean, God is telling me, do I know all this stuff? Who am I to stand in judgment of God for allowing him to go through suffering as the suffering that I'm going through now? Who am I? Who am I? Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. I mean, he's saying that to Job, but he's saying it to me. He that contendeth, that argues with God, the Almighty, shall I instruct God, who's already pointed out all the stuff that I don't know? Me that reproves God for being angry, for being frustrated, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. Once have I spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. God shut the mouth of Job. And in reading this, he shut my mouth. But God continues on. He's not finished. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind and said, once again, gird up thy loins now like a man. Come on, be a man. Suck it up. In our day and age's terminology, I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? Wilt thou condemn me that thou mightest be righteous? Who am I to condemn God? Who am I to say that his judgment is wrong? Hast thou an arm like God, or canst thou thunder with a voice like him? Deck thyself now with majesty and excellency, and array thyself with glory and beauty. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold every one that is proud, and abase him. Yeah, like I can do that. Look at every one that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, and bind their faces in secret. If you can do that, then will I also confess unto thee that thine own right hand can save thee. Only the hand of God can save me. Who am I to rage at God, to be downtrodden? But he continues, Behold now, Behemoth, which I made with thee on the 6th day. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. Yeah, this is not a hippopotamus. This is not an elephant. God is talking about a sauropod here. This is a dinosaur. His bones are as strong as pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees, in the covert of the reed and fens. The shady trees cover him with their shadows. The willows of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth that he can draw up the Jordan in his mouth. We're not talking about a small creature here. He taketh it with his eyes. His nose pierces through snares. One mighty beast. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thy hand upon him, remember the battle, and do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dares stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? God is using examples from both the land and the ocean. Real creatures. These are not imaginary creatures. Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine, saith Jehovah God. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. By his nestlings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth, and his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as the stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raises up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. He's literally talking, they pee their pants. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts is counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon the earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. And this is the confession that I need to make. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that thou canst do everything, and that no thought can be withholden from thee. Who is he that hideth counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understood not, things too wonderful for me which I knew not. Hear, and I beseech thee, and I will speak. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear, but now mine eye seeth thee. Wherefore I abhor myself, and repent in dust and ashes. What an amazing response of God to those of us who cry out that life is so unfair. Oh, woe is me, God, time to live the pity party. You're wrong for allowing my body to go through what it goes through. You're wrong for judging me the way that you judge me. I don't even have the beginnings of the knowledge that you have, God. Who am I to judge you? What glory do I have? I have none. I can't even by thought turn a single hair of my head white, though plenty of them are turning white. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Who am I in the eyes of the Lord? Who am I? Who am I? This is the link to my Discord server. If you care to join. Dear lady, her father passed away from a heart attack just mere days after Christmas. She is going through so much. And now I wish I could be there for her. There's another lady who's dealing with health problems. Just started reading the Bible and I praise God for that. I want to confront the atheist, the agnostic, the Mormon, and show them how foolish they really, really are, and not out of vengeance, not out of anger, but simply because fools despise wisdom, they despise knowledge and instruction. Yet I would have them hear it. But what are the effects of what I do? Turn into an entertainer make reaction videos. I can't do that. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how much life I have left. It seems every day I'm getting weaker and weaker. I don't have the drive in my heart anymore. And maybe that's because I'm an idiot and I'm debating Mormons on the platform of their own choice. But they won't come to me because I think they're too afraid. They're too afraid. They don't want to lose their traditions, their heroes, their community, their family. The atheist wants to run their own life. The agnostic is so full of pride, thinking they know everything, yet they know nothing at all. What do I know? Only what God has shown me. I'm still learning. I'm still learning every single day. I confess, Lord, I don't understand. I don't understand. And I'm not happy. I'm not filled with joy. And I've lost count of the number of times I have gone to sleep and I've asked you to take me in my sleep, that I don't wake up here in this misery anymore. Truthfully. Where YouTube is going to start censoring me. So if you look at the now playing section, that is my Rumble channel. I'm going to be ending my YouTube stream, but if you want to continue just listening to me tonight, I feel the need for some music. I'm going to be playing it. Head on over to that channel. It's rumble.com/4Mormons. You can find me there. And I've also pinned my Skype in chat, if you want to call. But, so at this point, I'm still streaming, but I am ending my YouTube stream right now because, quite frankly, I don't want to get censored by YouTube anymore. I don't want them to end my stream because I'm playing music. So, hopefully I will see you on the other side.